What's up? I'm Josh Martinez, and I got MJF, also known as Maxwell Jacob Friedman, on the line from All Elite Wrestling. What's going on, bro?
Man, what's going on is that was kind of a brutal introduction. I'm just going to take it over from here because that was pretty bad. Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you are deaf, dumb, blind, stupid, or let's just assume poor, my name is Maxwell Jacob Friedman. I am the youngest and fastest rising star in the history of AEW. I am wildly good looking. I am salt of the earth. I am a two-time AEW Dynamite Diamond Ring champion, and I am about to defeat Brian Pillman Jr. in front of 18,000 plus wildly adoring fans of mine in Arthur Ashe Stadium in Queens, New York, and I can't wait. That's how it's done, pal. That's how it's done.
I obviously got to write that down. I'm going to take notes. You're salt of the earth. You're better than me, and I know it. So I got to learn from you, obviously.
All right. Maybe you're not too bad after all. So let's fire away these questions. I'm a very busy man.
This Wednesday night, you're going up against Brian Pillman Jr., as you said earlier, Arthur Ashe Stadium in Queens by Citi Field, the largest AEW event ever in terms of attendance, over 15,000 people. And you're from not too far away from that area in Queens, right? Where are you from, bro?
So I'm from the greatest place, the most magical place in the world, Plainview, Long Island, New York. Queens is a dump, let's be honest with ourselves. But the matter of the fact is I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try to clean things up for a night, and then I'm going to pack my stuff up and leave. Never liked Queens. It's kind of a gross, gnarly place. Wish we could have been in Long Island for this, but it is what it is. I'm going to make the most of it.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned Long Island. You guys are going to be there December 8th for AEW Rampage, AEW Dynamite. Tickets on sale now, AEWTix.com. How hyped are you to go back home? Are you?
I most certainly am. The King of Long Island returns. It's going to be a beautiful homecoming. To be honest, this will be the only time I'm going to be excited to wrestle in front of a crowd because it's the only crowd that's ever mattered to me. It's my home base. It's my people. It's Islanders. And I'm very much so looking forward to it.
I'm happy you mentioned Islanders. I like to do this or that. So I'm going to give you two things. You just got to quickly pick one or the other. You ready?
I think I can handle it.
Jets or Giants?
Giants.
Knicks or Nets?
Knicks.
Rangers or Islanders?
Islanders.
Pizza or hot dogs?
Pizza.
Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson?
Mike Tyson.
Cats or dogs?
I got a cat, so the answer's cats.
Brian Pillman Sr. or Brian Pillman Jr.?
How about neither?
And this Wednesday night, you'll be taking on Brian Pillman Jr. in the biggest AEW crowd of all time. And in your mind, you're the draw. You're the reason why 15,000 plus.
Well, not in my mind. It's just a fact. But go on.
Well, what's that feeling like? Over 15,000 people, you know they're going to be screaming during your match.
So it's going to be 18,000 plus to correct you, and I do love correcting you. As far as what's going to be in my mind, look, I am fully aware that I'm going to be going into a very toxic environment filled with toxic people, and I'm going to be in the ring with a toxic person. My whole entire career, I've had people booing me. I've had people throwing death threats at me. I've had people physically throwing things at me. It does not get to me. When you're this good, none of that stuff matters. I'm a prodigy. I was born and bred to do this. And quite frankly, I honestly feel bad for Brian Pillman Jr. because all he is at this point, he's not a wrestler. He's just an obstacle in my way to becoming the AEW World Champion. And that is the last place anybody wants to be in all of professional wrestling, is in my way.
You mentioned Brian Pillman Jr., although you ran away from him the other day, last week, and had some, help from Wardlow. What do you think Wardlow's potential is in the industry?
Well, first of all, I chose to exit the ring. It had nothing to do with Brian. The ring was very dirty. I wanted out. That's one. Two, Wardlow, hell of a guy, good person, even better security guard. I pay him very handsomely to do his job. Does he do it perfectly all the time? No. Have I had to dock his pay occasionally? Yes. That is how I feel about Wardlow.
Fair. Now, one of my biggest issues is that I never stop to smell the roses. Have you had any of those moments where you stop, smell the roses, take a step back and go, yo, I do dope shit. That 13-year-old Maxwell is excited right now.
I'm going to say I haven't been able to do it yet, and I'll tell you why. I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm not going to be able to rest on my laurels, if you will, because trust me, if I wanted to, I could. I am 25 years old. I'm one of the hottest names in all of my sport. People want to be me. Women want to be with me. Of course, I could take a step back and go, Jesus Christ, I'm MJF and I'm only 25 and I've got 25 plus years left in the tank. But I can't do that. I cannot rest on my laurels until I become the world champion. That is my goal. That is all I care about. And that's what I'm going to make happen.
I think a lot of people are confident you're going to get to that point, bro. And barring any significant injury, I think we're all in agreement on that. Speaking of injuries, though, what's the worst injury you ever got?
I'm going to say the worst injury I've ever sustained was I was wrestling a very, very, very obese wrestler, and he landed on my leg, and I tore my LCL.
Oof.
And that took me out of commission for a little bit. But obviously, I was able to recover because I'm literally the best.
I brought that up because I'm sitting on my couch right now with an ice pack under my thigh because I pulled a hamstring in beer league softball. Obviously, one of the more athletic things one could do because you and I are both superior athletes. Obviously, you're in the ring getting hurt. I'm doing it in beer league softball on Staten Island. We're basically the same.
Clearly we are. And, I'm sure you've also hurt yourself doing pool or darts. So...
Oh, no. I'm Puerto Rican. I don't do that stuff.
Understood.
Yeah. So on my show, I like to do something called the confession session where I ask you random questions, and you got to be honest. So I want to know, what is the worst career advice you ever got from somebody?
I was cutting promos very young in my career, about 18, 19, and there was a wrestler who told me that I was being a little too disrespectful, a little too crass. And to this day, I make a very good living off of saying whatever I want to whomever I want. And that wrestler is still wrestling in moose lodges and gymnasiums in crappy Queens. So I think I won.
Now, you're making a good living being crass on the mic. Is there anyone that you kind of studied all these years in your career?
Most certainly Roddy Piper and Pinnacle's own Tully Blanchard.
And a lot of conversation have come up recently about quote unquote cheap heat, mainly with you and your promos. Anything to say about cheap heat?
If there's one thing I'd like to say is this, and comment on cheap heat. I've only commented on cheap heat one time, and I was making fun of the audience for bringing it up. Cheap heat does not exist. Cheap heat is an illusion. Cheap heat was created by Mark Boy fans who got too offended and they got too worked up. So they decided to come up with a logical reason why they did, as opposed to just admitting to themselves that they got emotionally invested in what somebody was saying. The reason why people adore to hate me so much is because I get you emotionally invested, and I'm not afraid to cross a line in order to do so. And do you know why I get you emotionally invested? Because it is my job to make you want to buy a ticket. And nobody makes people buy tickets more than MJF. That's why Arthur Ashe is sold out. That's why we couldn't fit one more butt and one more seat. It's because people pay money to see me get my ass kicked. And you know what? I'm fine with that because I get the winner's purse regardless. And what I mean by that is when I win, I get all the fucking chunks of change. You can chop out me saying the F word of you guys putting your money in to see me get beat up because I never do. I'm Floyd Money Mayweather. I'm Mike Tyson. I'm Muhammad Ali. I'm Conor McGregor. I'm the best fighter of the best fighters. And you are paying to see me lose, and you never will. And that's why I'm going to continue to make a lot of money in this business.
Now, you mentioned money, and the other day I saw something on Twitter that really caught my eye, and I used it on the confession session on my show. Is there something that improved your quality of life, something you did, something you purchased that you wish you did sooner?
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I've had a fairly privileged life my entire time on this realm, so I really don't have an answer for you. I mean, my parents are dope, my house is dope, the girls that I hang out with are dope, my cat's dope, everything in my life's dope. So.
No doubt. Now, this is a music station, so it would behoove me not to bring up any music conversations. What do you listen to get you hyped or get you in a workout, or if you got a long ride ahead of you?
I like Frank Sinatra. Frank's great. I like the whole entire Rat Pack era of music. I like the song Pennies from Heaven by Louis Prima. I just like that whole entire era of music. That's when music was real and it wasn't this beat, boop, bop bullshit.
You just single-handedly let down all of Long Island by not even mentioning Billy Joel, dog.
Billy's cool, man. I like Billy a lot, but at the end of the day, that's not my favorite era of music. But yes, Billy's great. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend Billy Joel's not great. I can definitely say he's much better than that schmuck Bruce Springsteen, but we don't need to get into that.
I'm definitely Billy Joel over Springsteen as well. My girlfriend would be happy to hear that. One of her favorite artists ever is Billy Joel. She's also from Long Island because obviously, you know what I'm saying, if I want to succeed in life, I got to associate with myself with someone from Long Island, right?
You did a great job. Now, I got to ask, is she Jewish? Is she Puerto Rican? What's going on?
Half Italian, half Cuban. So my stomach's always full in this house. You know what I mean?
Understood. People are eating. I like that. I like that. Good.
Plus, with that combination, you know what I'm saying? She got no problem speaking her mind and keeping me in check. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, maybe not me. I can do whatever I want, but maybe you, sure, you know?
All right, now we're up to the final question, and my girlfriend's obsessed with Disney. Just like I'm a fan of wrestling, you're a fan of wrestling, so I always get this question in. If you needed to be one Disney princess, who would you be and why?
Moana, 100%. And it's because she gets to hang out on a luxurious island and she's being fed all the time. Very solid Hawaiian food. So that is my answer. My answer is Moana.
MJF, one more time. I appreciate it. You're going to have over 18,000 people at Arthur Ashe Stadium Wednesday night and Friday night during Rampage. Put up a finger to show that they obviously appreciate you and to tell you that you're number one. A specific finger to show that you're number one, obviously.
Yep, number one in their hearts, baby. And you can see me every single Wednesday at 8 p.m. on TNT on All Elite Wrestling. And you can also catch me on my social media platforms at _MJF.
MJF, one more time. Thanks again, dog.
Whatever. Goodbye.
All right, I'll go fist myself. Thanks.